Welcome to Doha in Qatar for the FLYBOARD 2013 World Cup. The event was held from November 7th to 9th in this Persian Gulf city that numbers some 2 million inhabitants. Organised by the Zapata racing team in collaboration with the Qatar Marine Sports Federation, the World Cup took place in a superb marina, the Pearl, a magical place dedicated to luxury yachts and luxury dwellings. It's the second edition of the FLYBOARD World Cup, a totally new sport that's drawn many a competitor towards it worldwide. More than 70 participants answered Frankie Zapata's call. He's the inventor of this machine and the emblematic figure of the discipline. Just like surfing and other freestyle activities, the FLYBOARD World Cup has a judging panel who rate the technical and artistic performance of the athletes. In Qatar, for the FLYBOARD World Cup, we're starting from the principle that we used last year. In qualifying, the competitors have a minute in which to perform 5 figures. Every judge will give a mark out of 10, which gives us a mark out of 50. At the end of qualifying, we'll count up the scores, and the top 30 will go through, along with 2 wild cards. That is to say, athletes who are really capable of doing something good and weren't able to show of their best because of a technical or mechanical problem. That gives us 32 competitors in order to kick off the round of 32. One judge is there purely to rate the quality of the execution of the figures, another for the diversity of the figures the athlete shows, another for the entertainment value, the showbiz aspect of the routine, and another to judge the overall use of the space available, the attitude vis-à-vis the spectators and judges, how he's dressed, his way of holding the board. And at the end, we're after the most complete competitor around. We don't want someone who's purely technical, or someone who's purely into the entertainment side of things. The athletes are here to have fun. They're passionate about figures and come from the 4 corners of the planet. The flyboarders invade the marina for the second edition of the World Cup. Canada, Argentina, Egypt, Japan, Russia, the United States, Finland, Sweden, Spain, Qatar, Australia, and of course France are represented among the 22 countries.
I'm Corey Egan from Australia, North Queensland.
My name is Brody Wells, and I'm with Alberta FLYBOARD, part of Team Canada.
It's the first time I come from Japan.
I came from Austin, Texas in the US, and I started flyboarding about 9.5–10 months ago.
I
started 3 months ago. I want to do my best.
I just saw someone was flying in front of my beach house, so I said, let me try the flyboard. So I tried it, and I success.
This is actually the second time I've competed here. Last year I ended up competing in the first one and ended up making my way to 6th place. So
Nervous, extremely nervous, but excited. Just hope I get everything down pat, pull everything I want to pull, and I'm keen to watch everyone else once I'm done.
Thank you for this experience, and happy flyboarding out there.
Now to the World Cup qualifiers with 70 competitors out there in the water. We'll start with the only female entrant. Stephanie Wells, there in 2012, couldn't come to Qatar this year, so that leaves Frenchwoman Océane Courbet to fly the flag for the girls. She wins over the spectators with a supple routine, with very clean figures here, and it's oh so elegant. A minute's routine goes by quickly. Some were average, some much better than that, and there were a few revelations. The favourites did their stuff, but are keeping some tricks up their sleeve for later rounds. At the end of the qualifiers, only 32 flyboarders remain. The uncontested star of the discipline is Zapata, the inventor of FLYBOARD and also the inspiration behind numerous figures to which only he knows the secret. An accomplished sportsman, he had a long career in jet skiing. I started doing other sports really young, like karate and snowboarding. I've always been sporty, but then one day I fell into jet skiing. I spent 15 years of my life in the sport and was lucky enough to have a fabulous career in it. I was several times European champion, a world champion too. I was a factory rider and I realised all my sporting dreams. I had the idea in July 2011. At the end of August 2011, the prototype worked. In September, we put in the patent papers. In October, November, we made a video, which we published in December. And in January, we had 1,500 orders, so everything happened very quickly. A flyboard works in an extremely simple way. There are two nozzles under the board, which can propel the rider. The nozzles are under the center of gravity, so that you can destabilize the machine using your body. The board's a bit like a wakeboard or a snowboard, in which your feet are parallel, and you wear shoes that are like wakeboarding shoes. Everything's linked up by a hose to a jet ski, which provides the power. Instead of pushing the power backwards in order to move forwards, it uses a fireman-style hose, and we recuperate this energy in order to fly. Another Frenchman very active in the flyboarding scene is Stéphane Preyas. Based in Lyon in France, he's a former freestyle jet skiing champion. Preyas trains all year round for flyboarding, and he won the first World Cup, meaning there's pressure on his shoulders when he arrives in Qatar. Last year, it's true, it was the first year and we didn't know how it would go. I prepared just to try and finish as high up the field as possible. I went to try to do something good and I was lucky enough to win it. This year will be different because the flyboard has been on the market now and people have been training every day on it. It's become almost a professional sport and we do shows the world over now. I think in 2 years the sport has had an incredible development and it's the only sport I've seen take off in such a way. This year we've started to see a lot of new figures with rear entry. What's really not impressed me that much is the height on the backflips, because the higher you go, the more risks you're taking. And I think the big backflips will burn themselves out because of the risk of turning the machine. What impresses me more is the way certain competitors can mount from the back, come out of the back, and then come in from the back again. These figures will evolve over time, and I think it's already a complete sport because you need to master everything. You need to fly, but also be able to dive, turn yourself around in the water, and come out again. It's becoming really complete now. After the qualifiers come the first duels. And now to the quarterfinals. Stoppels, Preyas, Sukshan, this year's World Cup's revelation, and 5 redoubtable Americans are left in. It's a straight knockout, and the quality of figures has rarely, if ever, been matched. In the first battle, the Dutchman Arno Stoppels had to concede second best to the incredible Tongtai Sukshan, the young Thai so at ease on the water. American Ben Merrill in the blue takes on reigning world champion Stéphane Preyas. Preyas is knocked out to general surprise against the inspired American. Cooper Riggs, a discipline specialist, scores a unanimous verdict from the judges to see off fellow American Aaron Gould. There's a great 100% American battle in prospect between Caleb Gavich and Damon Rippey, the 15-year-old from Austin, Texas. With his fluorescent orange garb and his adolescent's face, Rippey puts in a perfect routine to qualify for the semi-finals.
Just waiting on the last results here, guys, and we're all going to go grab some food together.
They wouldn't have let you drive the ski afterwards if they thought you
So the 4 qualifiers for the semis are 3 Americans and Suksan, the young Thai. Now for a little nighttime excursion to Doha, the Qatari capital, which is hosting the FLYBOARD World Cup for the 2nd time. This thriving city of more than 2 million inhabitants is always open to water sports.
Going to be 4 minutes long. There'll be a whistle in 30 seconds. Here he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Ben Merrill.
Now to the first semi-final of the FLYBOARD World Cup in Doha, Qatar, with the American Ben Merrill. 29 years old, he's based in Destiny, Florida, and is a flyboard instructor. This former soldier is one of the quickest flyboarders on the circuit. In 3 minutes, he executes a maximum number of figures without turning the machine over or touching the top of the jet ski with the hose, which would mean first a penalty and then disqualification. We carry on with the young rookie Tongtai Suksan, the Thai who's barely 16. He finishes top in the qualifiers and looks so at ease, putting together double backflips in double quick time. It's an almost perfect routine and one which sends him into the final of this FLYBOARD World Cup in Qatar. Now to the second semi-final, and a very good start for Cooper Ricks. The routine lasts 3 minutes and the American flyboarder puts together figures that scale heights of more than 12 meters. Riggs takes a lot of risks and goes very close to flipping the jet, which would mean him being disqualified. Another revelation of the 2013 edition, Damon Rippey goes up against Riggs. This Texan snowboarding fan is virtually professional and is already one of the top 5 flyboarders around at the moment.
When I train every day, and we have 2 lakes where I live, and so I train on those lakes every day, and I had a similar jet ski to what we were using. I had a dual impeller and everything, so it was really easy for me to train for this, and so I was just really hard training every day would get me to where I am now. I'm a snowboarder as well. I'm a snowboarder and a football player, so I guess that gives me kind of the flexibility and everything that you need for this sport.
To his huge disappointment, Rippey is knocked out by Riggs, while as we've seen in the other semi-final, Merrell went down to Thai prodigy Suksan. And that sets up a promising final between Suksan and Riggs. So a final between the United States and Thailand. On the left, Cooper Riggs, on the right, Tongtai Suksan. Each routine will last 5 minutes. 5 minutes that will be grueling physically, and during which time a maximum number of figures need to be executed. It's the end of the day at Doha in Qatar, and we're going to get airborne. 12 meters high with the American Riggs. backflip, twist and dolphins. Appreciate the self-control of Riggs, who controls the risk element while pulling off very effective tricks. Riggs is from Miami, Florida, where he started flyboarding only last summer. He's taken to it like a duck to water, and nobody expected him to feature in a World Cup final so soon. Against him is a Thai in great shape, the very supple Suksan, who topped the qualifiers. Suksan starts his 5-minute routine with a magnificent high-flying backflip with a very clean landing. Just watch. A superb dive, great mastery of the skies and very flexible. Suksan routine brushes with perfection, shining the light on this impressive young athlete. The judges declare Suksan the winner of the 2013 FLYBOARD World Cup in Qatar. A big well done to the two finalists.
saw Rick tear it up. And we saw Tuxa go after him. Let's see.
Thank you.
Good job.
Suksan is congratulated by Frankie Zapata, who is acclaimed by the spectators and by the other teams, the American ones in particular. The World Cup 2013 podium and Suksan the winner ahead of the American rigs. In the third place playoff, Merel holds off the young and promising Rippy. The competition winner only started flyboarding relatively recently on a Thai beach and is taking the title home with him.
รู้สึกดีครับไม่ยาก
It really wasn't easy, but I gave it my all and I'm very happy to have
ใช้
won.
สมองใช้ความคิด
It was just awesome. I'm very impressed about the level. I'm very impressed about the level also of my team. And we are an incredible world champion. This guy is amazing, amazing fast. And I'm very impressed and very happy.
It's now become a tradition, and the Flyboard family had a beautiful nighttime show to enjoy at Doha in Qatar. A show coordinated by Emmanuel Jules, Frankie Zapata of course, and all his team. The World Cup finished with fireworks ahead of the 2014 edition, and who knows, maybe other World Cup rounds elsewhere in the world. We'll see you very soon for more flyboarding.